What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. I am today doing my picks for the Dover doubleheaders, race 1 and race 2 at Dover National Speedway, race 24 and race 25 as well of the season. Let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. But first, let's take a look at the weather for this weekend. The weather looks really good right now. Both days there is a 20% chance of rain only, and it is partly cloudy skies. I'm hoping I'm jinxing it, but the weather looks really good for this weekend. So, anyway, we're at the Dover doubleheader. It's crunch time for the playoffs. After this week, I feel like we're going to be knowing who is going into playoffs and who is not going into the playoffs. We'll find out this weekend. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into picks for this race. So how I do this normally is I do suck picks or struggle picks. I do underdog picks and winner picks. Today, we're doing two different sets of picks for both races. Let's start ahead. So anyway, who is going to suck this weekend? The first driver I'm picking to suck, and for race 1, I'm going to go with Kyle Busch. When Kyle Busch, in my opinion, has had a very struggle year in 2020. It seems like when his season is going wrong, it just gets worse. I feel like Kyle Busch's season is going to continue to suffer, especially if he has pedigree as a sponsor, because it seems like when he has pedigree on the car, it seems like that car is cursed. I feel like Kyle Busch's season continues to struggle. He will run really bad here at Dover for race number 1. The other driver who I think is going to struggle in race number 2 is going to be Chris Buescher. Chris Buescher, I expected a lot more from him in 2020. I thought he was going to run a lot better, but he really hasn't done much this year. I think Chris Buescher is going to struggle this weekend here at Dover International Speedway in both races. I feel like he's not going to run really well. Now we get into the underdog picks. So, for race number 1, I am going to go with Jimmie Johnson. Jimmie Johnson historically has run really well here at Dover. He's kind of had a bad few races at this race recently. I feel like he's going to get back on track and run really well here. I think he scores a top 5 and he gains some points on that cutoff line this weekend. The other driver who is going to have a very strong weekend here at Dover, I think is going to be Erik Jones. Erik Jones has historically ran extremely well at this racetrack, and I feel like he has a really good shot at going out there and winning this weekend, but we'll have to see what Erik Jones can do here at Dover. I feel like both races he is going to run really well, but we'll have to see how good he does run at Dover. And now we get into the winner's picks before I tell you who I think you should watch out for in this weekend's race. So, the winners this weekend. For race number 1, I am going to pick the guy who just won the most recent race, Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott won the last race at the Daytona Road Course, and historically at this racetrack, he has run really well. I think Chase Elliott is going to go out there and win the first race. I think he's going to flat out dominate it. I don't see him really having contention. Well, I will say that Kevin Harvick will be up there contending for the win. I think Chase Elliott wins the second race at Dover and goes back-to-back in races. The other driver I think is going to win, who I think is going to win race 2, this should not surprise anybody, Kevin Harvick. I think Kevin Harvick is going to win race 2. I think he has to make up a little bit of ground. I think he starts 10th at Dover, and Dover is a very tough track to pass. But I think he will run really well in race 1 and start a little bit closer front than Chase Elliott will. And I think Kevin Harvick at the end of the day will not only dominate the race, but he will secure another victory and more playoff points and will win his 7th race of the year in race number 2 at Dover International Speedway. Now I'm going to tell you who to watch out for other than these two guys who I picked to win in all my other picks. A guy I want you guys to watch out for is Martin Truex Jr. Martin Truex Jr. historically has ran really well at this racetrack. I believe he has 3 victories here at Dover, and I feel like he'll get another chance at a victory this weekend at Dover. Also, keep your eye out on Alex Bowman this weekend. Alex Bowman finished second last spring when we ran here, when we had to run this race on Monday. He ran really well all day. He was contending for the win all day long. He ended up finishing second to Martin Truex Jr. I think Alex Bowman will have another strong run and get back on his ropes this season and get back to being strong. Another driver to watch out for, Clint Bowyer. I think Clint Bowyer has ran really well at this racetrack as well, and I think he'll run very well. Also, keep your eye out on the rookies. I would suggest Tyler Reddick, Christopher Bell. I think those guys will run really well this weekend. But one driver that I think some of you all are probably forgetting, and I think is going to run pretty well, is Matt Kenseth. Matt Kenseth historically at this racetrack has ran really well, and I think he will run extremely well this weekend at Dover International Speedway. The playoffs are coming up. We're getting really close to the playoffs for the 2020 season, and I expect this to both races. I don't think the races are going to be as good, but I think we will see some shaking up in the standings after this weekend's doubleheader. You got to run the same car. If you wreck the car, you're going to the back for the second race. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video. Please like and subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on so you can be notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Link description below for that. And comment below your picks for this weekend's race. Who do you think is going to suck? Who do you think is your underdog for the race? And who do you think are going to be the winners for both of the races? Let me know in the comments below. So anyway, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video. And I will see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.